Welcome viewers to another episode of Brave Namibia, where we celebrate both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. Travelling to Walvis Bay, Leandria Lowe remains close to home, where she interviews her husband, who is the local singer, songwriter and producer Salvador Mouers.
Salvador, please tell us about your musical background.
Well, my musical background started way back when I was in kindergarten. Uh, I'm not sure if you can call it a career back then, but um, I actually remember doing the song by Kirk Franklin. You don't have to worry, and don't you be afraid. Joy comes in the morning, trouble they don't last always. And I've been singing ever since then. So after that, we fast forward to 2004, 2005 ish, where me and my friends, one of my friends had a computer, and he actually had the software to record and produce beats and all those stuff. Ever since then, I had this huge fascination with producing beats. I think it was on Fruity Loops 8 or 9, I'm not sure, but somewhere in that realm. So I recorded my first song. I think it was in 2005, 2006, I'm not sure. I can't even remember the title. 2011, I joined my first group, Contagious Africa, consisting of myself, Desmond Prince, and Joseph Richter, which was also our producer. We recorded and released an album called Magic. And after that, the group split. So after the group split, I joined another group. We were again a trio, but this time it were a hip hop and R&B trio. I was on the vocals, and was two rappers, Aixa and Jeffrey, which were the producer of the group. We released a demo disc, and after that in 2013, late 2013, 14ish, I think, the group split. So after the group split, I was part of this women and child abuse campaign, and which allowed me to go to South Africa, Cape Town, Atlantis to be exact, and we also recorded 3 tracks there. The tracks we did during the campaign or performed during the campaign. Fast forward, I laid low up until after that. I laid low up until 2017, where I joined my first label, Deal Done Records, where I recorded my first solo album, called Everything, and I entered the numbers with the album and were nominated for 2 categories, Best R&B and Best Newcomer. And so after the numbers, I reconnected with a member of a previous group of mine, Rasafani Mike. We did a few songs together, I think 5 songs. I produced all of the songs. And yeah, so last year, I decided to give my heart to the Lord. I got baptized. I married my best friend. Yeah, so I think that's my music career in a nutshell. I wish we had more time for me to give you the in-depth picture and an in-depth look on all that transpired, where I began and where I am now. So yeah, I think that's my career in a nutshell.
Now it seems you had a very lucrative career as a R&B and hip hop artist, but you find yourself doing gospel now. Why gospel?
Yeah, so I always had this urge or belief that there's something more to this gift than just to share it with the world. I mean, I always believe that God gave you this gift, or I don't know what your gift is, but I believe God gave me my gift for a reason, for a purpose. So the fact that I got baptized last year, in a nutshell, I believe it sort of cemented my purpose, as a servant. I don't people label you as a gospel artist, as a I don't see myself as a gospel artist. I see myself as a servant. I like to serve, because if I'm not singing, I would love the Lord to use me in whatever way pleases him. It carries more substance now, the gift of singing, because I'm no longer, doing it for self gain, or for recognition, or any of the worldly things. I did it before. This time around, it's only for his glory, to expand the kingdom.
Now, Salvador, you can start a song from scratch. I mean, you're a singer, songwriter, producer, and you can finish it until it's a product that can be put out into the world. How important is it for an artist to equip him or herself with the necessary skills?
Well, I think it's very important to equip yourself. As you know, you can do so much more, or not so much more. You can do everything yourself. Artists usually need writers. If they can't write, they need a writer. If they can't produce a beat, they need a producer. If they can't do their own marketing, they need publishers. They need publishing deals. And all those things cost money. And if it just so happens that you equip yourself with these necessary tools, you don't need any of those guys. Yeah. And so if you're in a vicinity, where your skill set is required, or you can actively contribute, as you're equipped with the necessary skills to be able to contribute. So yeah, I think it's very important. um you in in terms of monetizing, you own 100% of your revenue. So yeah, I just think, in a nutshell, it's really important. It's really important.
Now, it's quite evident that your faith plays a huge role in your career now, currently. But what else inspires you?
Yeah, so first and foremost, my heavenly Father, um you know he gave me the gift of singing. So through this gift, I tend to expand his kingdom. And then my wife and my kids, you know they inspire me on a regular, on a daily. uh, my wife, she's one of the brightest, strongest, and most resilient women I've come across, in my entire lifetime. you know and yeah, my kids, man. There's quite a few projects I'm working on. um One is called Breek Elke Ketting. Yeah, so the song speaks about breaking generational cycles. And where I grew up, there's a lot of unbroken generational curses um, that needs to be broken. And I think this is the perfect song that speaks to that specific type of audience. Um, the drug abuse, the alcohol abuse, absent fathers, absent mothers, abusive fathers. um, and yeah, so the song merely speaks about, in a nutshell, about breaking generational curses, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna play a little snippet for you. It's still in its rawest form, but be on the lookout for it. You know, yeah, I'll be releasing it soon. I'll be announcing it, you know, before the release date, so yeah, here's a little snippet of Breek Elke Ketting. Breek elke ketting, aan die naam van Jesus burn. As wat die van die is, maak my, drug my, oh. Laat my voete op my eeuwige rood, elke ketting, aan die naam van Jesus burn. As wat die van die is, maak my, love my, oh. Laat my voete op my eeuwige rood.
Finally, Salvador, what's your message to everyone who is currently watching? What would you like to tell them?
Well, you know, it's tough times we're living in right now. I think it would be to keep the faith, you know, keep the faith and do what you believe in, you know. Do what makes you happy, you know. No one is responsible for your happiness, you know. You yourself are responsible for your happiness, you know. So do what makes you happy. Do what you believe in, you know. And like I said, keep the faith, you know. It's quite hard times and rough times we're living in. Yeah. So I think that would be my message.
Next, we head to Rundu, where Kenya Kambowe caught up with the local tailor Arnoldeus Kamana, who is the sole breadwinner for his 5 younger siblings.
First, can you just tell us who you are and what you do for a living?
Yeah, Kamana Gango Arnoldeus. So I'm a tailor and a fashion designer based in Rundu. So I've been doing this for 7 years now. So my workshop is based in Rundu Open Market.
Tell us about the stereotype about tailoring, which is mostly associated with the female gender. How has it been for you being a man doing this kind of job?
Yeah, in the beginning, I also considered tailoring and fashion designs as a job that's being done by ladies, but so like me myself, when I started this, it was about life. So we've been doing this with my cousin. We started at home. So people got interested in the work that I was doing. So started giving me work to do. So that's how I also pushed myself that, no, maybe let me try this. So I kept on improving up to now that I'm enjoying it. So now I don't feel like looking for any other job. I just want to do this maybe, let me say, for the rest of my life. All I need is just to improve, work more hard.
Okay. Tell me, in terms of training, did you go to any kind of training or is just a natural born talent?
I did not go to any institution to do training in this. I trained myself. So it's just something that I love. So I actually improved by watching videos on YouTube. Like I just do researches on tailoring and fashion designs. Mostly I work with the internet.
Okay. And in terms of employment, were you employed somewhere else before you started doing this, or is this your only job that you know in your life?
Yeah, this is the only job that I've been doing in my life.
Okay. In terms of customer base, who are literally most of your customers at Rundu and all that?
Let me say everyone is my customer because being in this industry, you don't need maybe, let me say, there is no age group from a newborn, let's say, to the dead. They are also your customers because everyone needs clothing from a baby to a dead person and all of us because clothing is just like shelter. You need it.
Okay. Now let's talk about challenges. We know of the COVID-19 situation. It was somehow, it had a negative impact on people's livelihood in terms of money and all that. But how was that period, the past 2 years, when COVID-19 when it was still there?
Yeah, COVID-19 negatively impacted us, especially as budding business persons. Yeah, oh, it was very hard. Like in terms of financially, it was not easy. You know, we lost customers. Most everyone was affected, negatively affected. So that means it was also hard for us. But at least now we can see that things maybe are getting back to normal. So we are still getting that hope back that maybe we can still work on our dreams.
Okay. Talking about dreams, where do you see yourself in the... Okay, tell us how many people you are currently employing, and where do you see yourself in the next, let me say, 5 years?
Yeah, now I work with my two cousins. So in the next 5 years, yeah, just like I said before COVID-19, there was a dream, so it was a bit negatively affected, but now we are still hoping to dream. But the dream is that, like me, myself, I always see myself like having a boutique that is providing local made clothes, and I also dream of maybe owning an academy that I have to give training to fellow youth, things like that. That are my two big dreams.
Okay, tell us about how this business is sustaining your livelihood.
So for me, let me say, it's everything to my life, not just to me myself, but to my siblings. This is a source of survival. I provide for my sibling. I'm the elder brother, I'm the firstborn. I have 5 little sisters. So they look up to me. So this is what I do to help them with their needs.
Okay, tell me about your routine. What time do you come to work and what time do you leave?
Yeah. Actually, I don't really have time frame, so it depends sometimes on how busy the schedule is, because the open market opens at 5 o'clock. If I'm too busy, I come at 5. So the last hour that we are given here is 8 o'clock. Sometimes I come at 5 o'clock in the morning and I go back home 8 o'clock in the evening. So sometimes I used to be for a week. My sibling, without seeing me, the only day that they can see me is maybe Sundays.
Okay. Seeing that you've seen this as an opportunity, our region, especially Kavango, is there's a high unemployment rate, as well as the whole country as a whole, and you have decided that no, I'm going to be self-employed. Just give us, what is your message to the youth, those who are unemployed, and so they can do something to sustain their life? What is your message to them?
Yeah, to my fellow youth, I encourage them to take opportunities, because we know like the government cannot afford to employ us all, but in this era where we are living, where the internet is there, we can access a lot of information. We must just start doing researches, especially like this industry. If we youth come together and start working together, we can create employment. We can do a lot, because this industry, it is undermined, but it's supposed to be an industry which is benefiting us. Not just us, but even the government. If we happen like to come together and work together, even the government will come to us. So we have to provide to the government. We can't force the government just to give us employment. So it's been 4 years now since the country got independence, but up to date we are still struggling to get employment, because we just want the government to employ us. We don't want to work on ourselves. We should create employment, so at least maybe we can also create employment for our fellow youth.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in today. If you know of someone you feel should feature on our show, please contact us at brave@nmh.com.